All right, guys, welcome to the show. Got a whole bunch of cool stuff for you today. So the U.S. soccer captain got into an interesting back and forth with a hostile Iranian journalist who was trying to basically play gotcha over the U.S.'s human rights record. And his response is just pitch perfect. So we'll talk about that. Also, 4-day work week. It is becoming more and more of a real thing. And in the UK, there's a giant program now running with thousands of workers. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So we'll get into that. Also, the New York Times finally calls for Julian Assange to be freed. I mean, it's a little late, but also, okay, we'll take it. And the Supreme Court is hearing a case that, and I'm not kidding about this, may legalize election rigging. That ain't pretty. That ain't pretty. So I'm going to kick it off with Saudi Arabia in just a second, how they've basically infiltrated our government and are stealing water from areas in the country that are short on water. So we'll get to that in a second. But before I do, let me talk a little bit about this. So just to remind everybody real quick, I talked about this the other day on the show, wanted to bring it up again now to give everybody another opportunity here. But Breaking Points did a live show in Atlanta. I was at that one. It was great. We had a fun time. The crowd was awesome. We debated student loan debt reduction and talked about a whole bunch of different things. That was fun. I was not at their live show in Chicago, but now we have another live show coming up in New York City, and there's another one coming up in Boston. I will be at the New York City one, and I will be at the Boston one. So the New York City one is on December 6th. I'm not, let me see if I'll click it here. We'll go through this together. We will see where the venue is and shit. Okay, whatever. Ticketmaster is horrible, by the way, but it's literally the only way you can sell tickets. Okay, so Town Hall, New York. So at the Town Hall place in New York, we'll be doing a show. This is Tuesday, December 6th at 7:30 p.m. You guys can see Crystal reached out to me and said, hey, there's a lot of tickets left. You should probably tell your audience. And it looks like there are, man. It looks like there's still a lot of tickets left. So hop on in that bitch. This is a big room. Jesus, this is a huge room. Well, who do they think we are? Fucking Taylor Swift? I can't sell that many seats. Jesus Christ. So Tuesday, December 6th. I know Tuesday is not a night that people generally like going out or whatever, but look, I have to say, I don't do live shows often, almost at all, to be honest. I did Politicon a bunch of times, but I haven't, Politicon hasn't been a thing in a while. And like I said, I did the first Breaking Points live show. So this live show in New York and this live show in Boston, it's the last one that we have planned for a hot minute. And I don't know the next time I'm going to do a live show. So if you want to come out, show your boy some love, have some fun, guarantee you it'll be entertaining. If you guys play your cards right, I might flash you my ball sack on stage, but you got to play your cards right. So there's no guarantee on that front. We'll have to find that out. Anyway, so Town Hall, New York City. The name of the venue is Town Hall, December 6th. I'll leave the link in the video description box below if you guys want tickets. And then let's also just take a look real quick at the Boston one. I also don't know the name of that venue because, again, this is like last minute thing where I'm hopping in this bitch for everybody. So this venue looks maybe a little smaller, not sure. The Wilbur in Boston, Massachusetts. The Wilbur. That's Wednesday, December 7th. So it's the very next day, Wednesday, December 7th. So buy some tickets for that if you're in the Boston area. I'd love to see you guys. Again, I know Wednesday's not the most, everybody happy about going out and doing stuff on a Wednesday in December when it's fucking cold and the sun's setting like in the middle of the day and all that shit. But hey, I'll be there. I'd love to see you guys. So definitely come through. Town Hall, Tuesday, December 6th, New York City. Come out. And then December 7th, Wednesday, the Wilbur in Boston. I will be there both days. All right, love you guys. Definitely check it out. Now, let's jump into the actual story. So, this is in The Intercept. Lobbyist for Saudi alfalfa company, desiccating Arizona, was elected to Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. So, I don't know why they're using SAT words in this bitch. Calm down, Intercept. Let me explain to you what this means. There's a lobbyist for Saudi Arabia who ran for office in Arizona, specifically for the Board of Supervisors. And this guy, he's on Saudi's payroll still, and he concocted this scheme to buy a whole bunch of land and steal the water, the groundwater, and send it to Saudi Arabia. Okay, so Thomas Galvin is the guy's name. He lobbied on behalf of a Saudi company soaking up Arizona's groundwater. He is now mediating an ongoing water dispute in neighboring Maricopa County. Oh, well, this seems like the guy who should be doing that. So this is the name of the absolute sellout and traitor to the United States of America. Arizona is a region that has water issues, is going to have even bigger water issues. And this is the guy who's in an elected position, who's basically robbing the state to look after his Saudi overlords. So here's what they say in The Intercept. An official recently elected to the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, where he holds sway over an ongoing water dispute, was also a lobbyist for a Saudi company looking to protect its extraction of precious groundwater. Thomas Galvin, elected in the midterms to the post he was first appointed to in 2021, lobbied on behalf of the Saudi-owned farming company, which is using Arizona's most depleted natural resource for foreign exports. State lobbying disclosures show that Gavin is a partner at Rose Law Group, which lobbied on behalf of a subsidiary of the Saudi corporation Almarai, currently tapping U.S. groundwater in drought-stricken Arizona and California to grow alfalfa. The animal feed, which is grown in harsh desert environments, is shipped overseas to support livestock on Saudi dairy farms. In 2014, Almarai bought almost 10,000 acres of farmland in Vicksburg, Arizona, through its wholly owned subsidiary, Fondamonte, spending nearly $50 million on the purchase. The near non-existent water regulations in La Paz County, where Vicksburg is located, mean that Fondamonte can pump vast amounts of water out of Arizona's water table, which has declined by over 50 feet in the past 2 decades. Before joining the Board of Supervisors, Galvin appeared at the Arizona State Legislature to lobby against HB 2520, a bill instructing the Arizona Department of Water Resources to monitor the wells and water levels in the Upper Colorado River water planning area. At the hearing, Galvin told Land, Agriculture, and Rural Affairs Committee members, quote, "I am not sure that this bill is right for this time right now. I'm afraid that if this bill passes, what we'll be doing is singling out farms and large agricultural users. You might actually be forcing farms to release proprietary data." The bill ultimately failed, but not before Galvin called residents concerned about foreign capital draining their aquifers racist. Oh, man. This is the perfect example of the bastardization of identity politics for corporate ends. So, in other words, this guy was saying, hey, don't go crazy. Don't regulate Arizona's groundwater and protect it and leave it here for Arizona. Let us do whatever we want with it. And of course, what he wants to do with it is ship it to Saudi Arabia. And then, here's the quote. Quote, "My law practice consists nearly entirely of practicing land use law. And I am also a registered lobbyist with the state, along with several other attorneys at Rose Law Group," Galvin wrote in an email to The Intercept. "Lobbying is not a major aspect of my legal career and takes up little of my time in comparison to my core practice area. Rose Law Group is a registered lobbyist for Fondamonte, Arizona with the state of Arizona. I am one of several attorneys at Rose Law Group that are covered under that registration." In response to his role on behalf of Fondamonte and its intersection with the Board of Supervisors, Galvin wrote, quote, "Their farming operation is located outside of the county I represent. In fact, it is more than 100 miles from my district. In addition, counties in Arizona have limited powers related to water policy and are not even a water provider. Maricopa County does not lease state land and does not have control over water charges or policies enacted by state agencies. I will continue to recuse myself in any case where a client of my law firm has business before Maricopa County. Water has become so scarce in Arizona and neighboring states that plans have been floated to pump water from the Mississippi River across the country to supply drought-stricken residents. Fondamonte, in particular, has become a flashpoint in statewide water politics, with the Democratic candidate for Attorney General, Chris Mays, calling for an investigation and possible sanction on the Saudi company's water use." So they're stealing the water. I mean, they're stealing the water and screwing the people of Arizona. And this guy is allowing that and facilitating it for money for himself. That's what this is. 4 years after Galvin's testimony, the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors finds itself adjudicating an increasingly tense situation that pits residents, politicians, and transporters against each other over who has a right to water and how each interest group should pay for access. In December 2021, Galvin was appointed to the Board of Supervisors by the sitting board in a unanimous vote. In January of this year, Galvin found himself in the middle of the standoff with politicians and residents on all sides of the water divide demanding action on a water redistricting plan that would affect the price paid by hundreds of Maricopa residents, some of whom rely on water hauled for miles and distributed into tanks below their drought-stricken homes. Okay. So this goes on. You guys get the gist of it. Now, this is something you don't see a lot of talk about, do you? You don't see a lot of talk about this. Foreign country, which, by the way, even though they're technically our allies, not very hostile to us, stealing water from Arizona and hiring paid traders, lobbyists, to betray their country for a paycheck. So that's where we're at. Really disturbing stuff, really disgusting stuff. I mean, it goes without saying, there should be federal rules and regulations against this kind of stuff. Why should any foreign government have the right to buy up our natural resources? You're talking about groundwater here in a place that's drought-stricken. That water belongs to nobody but the American people and the people of the state of Arizona. And it's criminal. What's going on is criminal. But it's happening right under our noses, and nobody's really talking about fixing the situation. And this is psychotic. This is psychotic. I mean, what's next? Are we going to have Saudi Arabia or Qatar or Dubai or other countries or Israel, whoever? How much is too much for them to buy up our water resources, particularly in drought-stricken regions? How much is too much? I mean, if they start taking 70% of our, then would people, whoa, what's going on here? I mean, it should already be nipped in the bud. But this just goes to show you, money talks. And they got this paid hatchet man who will get them their needs met come hell or high water, no matter how unethical it is. So the laws need to catch up to this reality because this can't go on much longer. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.